All right, let's talk about something that can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. When a serious crime happens, figuring out that first step towards justice is tough. But it all boils down to one single document, the First Information Report, or FIR. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the FIR. We'll get into what it is, exactly how you file one, and most importantly, what your rights are every step of the way. So let's just start with this basic but super important question. Imagine it. A crime has been committed. Maybe you saw something, or maybe you were the victim. After the initial shock wears off, you're left thinking, okay, what do I actually do now? That answer, that first official step, is what gets the entire justice system rolling.
And that first step is filing an FIR. But, and this is key, it's for a specific type of crime called a cognizable offense. Now, that's just a legal term for serious stuff. We're talking about things like murder, theft, or rape. These are the crimes where the police have the power to make an arrest and start investigating right away, no waiting around for a court order. The FIR is basically the green light.
So who can actually file one? Well, this might surprise you. It is absolutely not just the victim. If you're a friend, a family member, or heck, even just a person who knows that a serious crime took place, you have the right to file an FIR. Even a police officer who sees a crime happen can and should file one themselves. It's a shared responsibility.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the who. Now for the big one, the how. How do you actually go about filing an FIR? Let's get into the step-by-step, because it's probably a lot more straightforward than you think. Here it is, the basic 5-step playbook. You go to the police station, find the officer on duty, and just tell them everything you know. Their job is to write it all down. And, this is so important, you are legally entitled to get a copy of that report for free. Don't leave without it. And finally, try to get the officer's contact info. It just makes following up easier. And this quote right here, this gets to the heart of one of your most important rights in this whole process. It doesn't matter if you tell your story out loud or if you hand them a written statement. The police officer has to record it exactly as you said it. It's your story in your words. They even have to read it back to you before you sign just to make sure they got it 100% right.
Now, what if the crime happened in one place, but you're now somewhere totally different? Are you stuck? Not at all. And this is thanks to something called a zero FIR. See, a standard FIR has to be filed at the station that has jurisdiction over where the crime took place. But a zero FIR, you can file that for a serious crime at any police station in the country. They'll register it, and then it's their job to send it over to the correct station. It's a fantastic rule that cuts through red tape and prevents delay.
All right, you've done it. You successfully filed the FIR. Your part, for now, is done. So what happens next? Well, this is the moment the official police investigation formally kicks off.
The second that FIR is officially registered, a system of checks and balances kicks in, and it all starts with the number 4. 4 copies of the FIR get made. Why? Well, one goes straight to the local magistrate, that's for judicial oversight, to make sure the police are on the case. 1 stays at the station, and 2 more go up the chain of command to senior police officers. It creates an instant paper trail, making everything transparent from day one.
And get this, the police are officially on the clock. They don't have forever to figure things out. As you can see, the investigating officer has to give a progress report to the magistrate. They've got 60 days for less serious cases and up to 90 days for the really serious ones. It's a mechanism that's built in to make sure your case doesn't just sit on a desk gathering dust. Okay, let's talk about what is maybe the single most important part of all of this. We've gone over the ideal process, how things should work. But what if they don't? What happens when you run into a roadblock and the police refuse to file your FIR? This is where knowing your rights isn't just helpful, it's absolutely critical. You know, it's a legitimate fear, and sadly, it's a reality some people face. You go to the station, you have a valid complaint about a serious crime, and for whatever reason, they turn you away. It can feel like you've just hit a solid brick wall, but you haven't. There is always another step you can take. And here is your roadmap. This is your path forward. Option 1, just go to a different police station and try to file a zero FIR. If that doesn't work, you can go over their heads. Send a written complaint by mail directly to a senior officer, like the superintendent of police. Still nothing? You can bypass the police completely and take your complaint to a judicial magistrate in court. And in the most extreme cases, you can even petition the High Court to legally order the police to do their job. The main takeaway here is simple.
You are never out of options.
Okay, we need to make a really crucial distinction here. It's super important to understand what an FIR is and what it isn't. A lot of people think that the moment an FIR is filed, a criminal case against someone has officially started. But that's not quite how it works.
This table lays it out pretty clearly. The FIR is just the information that kicks off a police investigation. It's the beginning. It's not a case against anybody. The actual criminal case, the formal legal proceeding that only starts after the police have investigated and filed something called a charge sheet with the court. So think of it like this. The FIR is the spark, but the charge sheet is what actually starts the fire.
Yep, that's probably the best way to think about it. An FIR is the official starting bell. It signals the beginning of the race, it gets the police on the track, and the investigation is underway. It doesn't decide who wins, but without that bell, the race to find justice can't even begin.
So there you have it. We've walked through the whole thing. Filing an FIR is a fundamental right, and it's what gives every single one of us the power to set the wheels of justice in motion. But, knowing your rights is just the first step, isn't it? The bigger question we're left with is this. How do we make sure that everyone, no matter who they are or where they live, doesn't just know about these rights, but feels confident and empowered enough to actually use them? Now that's something to think about.